That's what Margaret asked me. She's 72, sharp-minded, warm-hearted, and afraid of eggs. I used to eat 2, then 1, then none, she said. The doctor said cholesterol, so I switched to toast. But her energy dipped. Her memory felt slower, and food stopped feeling like fuel. So, we reintroduced eggs, not 1, not 2. 5 a day, every morning for 1 month. And what happened next? Surprised her body and softened her fear. You've heard it for decades. Limit eggs, too much fat, too much cholesterol. But that story, like many things we were told about food, was missing a deeper truth. Eggs aren't dangerous. They're complete. They carry almost everything your aging brain, nerves, and muscles quietly ask for, but rarely receive. Egg quality matters more than quantity. Not all eggs are equal. You've seen the labels: cage-free, free-range, pasture-raised. And it's easy to think they're just marketing words. But for your body, especially after 60, those words matter more than ever. Because what you put into your body carries the life of what it came from. Caged hens never see sunlight, fed with grain, soy, and confined air. The result? A pale yolk, thin shell, and nutrients that never had a chance to grow. Free range? Better. But still often means limited movement and artificial lighting. But pasture-raised, certified, humane eggs? That's different. These hens live under sky. They scratch in soil. They eat bugs, grass, and real earth. And when they do, their eggs change. The yolk becomes golden orange. The shell thickens. And the nutrients, vitamin D, omega-3s, choline, multiply in a way your body feels, not just tracks on paper. It's not about fear. It's about recognition. Because your body, especially now, doesn't just need protein. It needs clarity. It needs food that remembers where it came from, so your cells can remember what they're here to repair. So, don't just count eggs. Know your source. Look for pasture-raised. Ask at the market. Buy from local farmers when you can. Because when the life behind the food is respected, the body receiving it feels respected too. Choline, the memory messenger. Memory doesn't vanish. It drifts. At first it's small. You forget why you walked into the room. You reach for a name that used to be automatic. You reread the same paragraph twice, and still can't recall what it said. These aren't failures, they're signals. Soft messages from a brain that's doing its best with too little of what it truly needs. And one of the nutrients it needs most is choline. Choline is the quiet builder behind acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter that supports memory, learning, and the clarity we use to navigate daily life. It helps you remember why you opened the fridge, where you parked, how to finish the sentence you started without losing your thread. It even supports REM sleep, which is where the brain files, sorts, and repairs. But here's the problem. Most people, especially after 60, don't get enough choline. Modern diets drift away from yolks, liver, real food. And as fear of fat rose, choline quietly disappeared. This is where eggs come in. One pasture-raised egg yolk delivers about 150 milligrams of choline. 5 eggs? That's your full day's worth, delivered gently, naturally, without supplementation. No pills, no tracking apps, just nourishment that speaks the language your neurons have been waiting to hear. And when that signal returns, memory flickers back on. Focus strengthens, and your sense of self feels a little more rooted again. This isn't about youth, it's about connection between what you eat and what you remember. Because your mind doesn't just need rest, it needs to be fed by the things that help it hold on to the people, places, and moments you never wanted to lose. Protein efficiency, less food, more strength. As we age, our relationship with food begins to shift. You may find yourself eating less, not because you want to, but because fullness arrives faster, digestion slows, appetite softens, and meals start to feel heavier than they used to. But your need for protein doesn't go away. In fact, it quietly increases. That's because the body begins to lose muscle, not dramatically, but gradually. A little strength here, a little stability there, until one day you notice you're reaching for support where you didn't used to. And that's where eggs offer something quietly powerful. You don't need to eat more. You need to eat smarter. foods that give more with less. Eggs are one of the most efficient sources of protein nature ever created. Nearly 100% of their protein is bioavailable, which means your body doesn't have to work hard to use what they offer. 5 eggs? That's about 30 grams of protein in under 400 calories. No shakes, no excess, no confusion, just clean, absorbable support for your muscles, your tissue, and even your mitochondria, those little power stations inside every cell. And here's the difference. It's not just the protein, it's the precision. Eggs give you the amino acids in exactly the ratios your body needs, especially as it rebuilds what time and tension slowly wear down. So, if you've been eating less, but wondering why you feel weaker, maybe the answer isn't more food, but better food. And maybe it's time to let one small shell carry a little more of your strength back to where it belongs. Cholesterol reframed, not the enemy. For years, we were told to fear cholesterol, that it clogs, that it clumps, that it brings heart attacks quietly and quickly. So, we removed the yolks, chose egg whites, ate cereal instead, and waited for safety that never quite arrived. But the truth is more layered, more human. Cholesterol isn't your enemy. It's a repair signal, a builder, a molecule that your body uses when it needs to heal, seal, and support. It's essential for hormone production, estrogen, testosterone, cortisol, vitamin D synthesis, especially important as we age, cell membranes, helping every cell stay flexible, myelin repair, the sheath around nerves that protects memory, movement, clarity. Your body even makes it on its own. Every day. In fact, your liver adjusts cholesterol output based on what you eat. Eat less, it produces more. Eat more, it slows production down. This is why, for most people, dietary cholesterol from whole foods like eggs doesn't spike serum cholesterol dangerously. The system is smarter than that. And when you eat eggs, you're not adding chaos. You're offering the body what it already understands. A form of cholesterol paired with choline, protein, and fat-soluble vitamins that make it usable, absorbable, balanced. It's when cholesterol arrives alongside sugar spikes, inflammatory oils, and chronic stress that the story shifts. But by itself, in the company of whole foods, slowness, and rhythm, cholesterol can become a part of the rebuild. So maybe it's time to stop blaming the yolk for what it was never responsible for, and instead, welcome it back as part of your body's quiet and wise design. Saturated fat, the slow fuel for focus. We've been trained to flinch at the word fat, especially saturated fat. We were taught it clogs, weighs down, leads to heartache, and heart attacks. But not all fat behaves the same, and not all of it harms. Some fats, like those found in whole eggs, don't rush, they stabilize. You feel it mid-morning when your energy holds steady. You feel it when your mind stays clear instead of crashing after a quick carb breakfast. You feel it when hunger becomes quieter, not louder. That's the beauty of slow fuel. It doesn't spike, it supports. Saturated fat in the context of real whole food, not ultra-processed, not fried, not stripped, can actually help improve HDL function, stabilize blood sugar, and reduce cravings later in the day. In fact, when consumed with fewer refined carbs, it can improve LDL particle size and quality, making cholesterol less sticky and less likely to cause damage. For aging bodies, this is especially important, because energy that dips too often becomes fatigue, and fatigue leads to reliance on sugar, on caffeine, on snacks that don't serve. But with the steady fuel from quality eggs, you're offering your system a foundation, not a roller coaster. And no, this isn't a green light to eat mindlessly. It's an invitation to see fat as part of the healing rhythm when it's delivered by foods that carry balance within themselves. So instead of fearing the yolk, pause, taste it again. Feel how your body receives it, not with panic, but with presence. Because clarity doesn't always come from less. Sometimes it comes from the kind of fuel that burns slow and carries you further. Margaret came back after 30 days. Same smile, but sharper eyes. "I can remember my neighbor's name again," she said, "and I don't need that 2 p.m. nap anymore. All from 5 eggs a day. It wasn't a supplement. It wasn't a breakthrough. It was something real, something ancient, something we'd almost thrown away because of fear, not truth. So, if you've been avoiding the yolk, tiptoeing around breakfast, thinking less is safer, maybe what your body needs isn't less, just better. Just try this. Eat 3 to 5 pasture-raised eggs tomorrow. Pair with greens or avocado. Chew slowly. Feel what it changes. Then track how you feel over 7 days. Is your hunger more stable? Is your memory sharper? Is your energy more grounded? Let us know. And if you've already walked this path, share your egg ritual in the comments, because your experience might be the clarity someone else was missing. Share it in the comments.